went on to tell the people this parable. A man planted a vineyard, rented it to some farmers, and went away for a long time. At harvest time, he sent a servant to the tenants so that they would give him some of the fruit of the vineyard. But the tenants beat him and sent him away empty-handed. He sent another servant, but that one also they beat and treated shamefully and sent away empty-handed. He sent still a third, and they wounded him and threw him out. The owner of the vineyard said, "What shall I do? I'll send my son, whom I love. Perhaps they will respect him." But when the tenants saw him, they talked the matter over. "This is the heir," they said. "Let's kill him, and the inheritance will be ours." So they threw him out on the vineyard and killed him. What then will the owner of the vineyard do to them? He will come and kill those tenants and give the vineyard to others. When the people heard this, they said, "May this never be." Jesus looked directly at them and asked, "Then what is the meaning of that which is written? The stone of the builders rejected had become the cornerstone or the capstone. Everyone who falls on that stone will be broken to pieces, but he on whom it falls will be crushed." The teacher of the law and the chief priests looked for a way to arrest him immediately, because they knew he had spoken the parable against them. But they were afraid of the people. Have you ever had a deal broken against you? Somebody give you the word, hey, I'll come over and do this, fix this, or you know what, I'll come and help you at no cost. And all of a sudden, nobody showed up, or hey, I need some money. Knowing that they knew the situation he was in, but yet still turned around and broke their deal with you. Have you received all that you promised? What would you do to get what's yours? Did you know that you were going to be ready? None of this applies, and none of this brings a thought to you. Imagine this parable happening to you. You're the owner, you sent help, and then you finally sent the love. All ready to be lame, injured, and killed. The characters in this story are easily identified. The owner of the vineyard is our God. The vineyard in those days was Israel. Today would be our United States, would be our United States, would be Israel, would be any situation, any place on this earth, because God has given each their land. The tenants are religious leaders. The servants are the prophets and the priests that God has sent to Israel. The Son is the Messiah, our Lord Jesus Christ. And the others are the Gentiles, us. In verse 9 through 12, it said that when he had done this, that he had planted a vineyard. Read the farmers, and then tried to turn around and reap what was given. But he had given them in a sense. We all play a role in this parable. We either are the servants, tenants, or others. In Isaiah chapter 5, verse 1 through 7. I will sing for the one I love a song about his vineyard. My love, one had a vineyard on a fertile hillside. He dug it up, he cleared the stones, and planted it with the choicest vines. He built a watchtower in it and cut out a winepress as well. Then he looked for a crop of good grapes, and it yielded only bad fruit. Now, you dwellers in Jerusalem and men of Judah, judge between me and my vineyard. What more could you have done for my vineyard than I I have done for it. When I look for good grapes, why did he yield only bad? Now I tell you, what I am going to do to my vineyard, I will take away its heads, and it will be destroyed. I will break down its walls, and it will be trampled. I will make it a wasteland, neither pruned nor cultivated, and briars and thorns will grow there. I will command the clouds not to rain on it. The vineyard of the Lord Almighty is the house of Israel, and the men of Judah are the garden and the delight. And he looked for justice, but saw bloodshed, for righteousness, but heard cries of distress. The parable that I read earlier out of Luke 9. God has sent many prophets out, not only through the Old Testament, but also to the New, after Jesus' death. And we as people back then, and we as people now, we try and find a way to get rid of what the error is, because we want it all. But yet we don't think about what we're doing. In a situation as this, would you send someone you love deeply and hope that he or she can turn something bad into something good? This is what God did with his son, Jesus Christ. He sent him to us because it was prophesied. In Matthew 3:17, I love, with him I am well pleased. This is what God did for us. God sent us his son, knowing that he would be killed. Imagine that kind of love given to you. Imagine that kind of love that we would have. Would we be willing to sin, knowing that our love would be killed? I asked that twice. Now think about that question. Are we willing enough to do that, to make that kind of sacrifice? Because our Lord God was. He was the one that was willing, because he knew that somewhere within that vineyard, there are some good grapes. Look at this one. This is our vineyard. This is one of the vineyards that the Lord had planted for us. And we've got good grapes in here. We just got to make sure that we cultivate them. God's not going to do it all by himself, because he wants us to be able to know. We have to help. We have to have the faith that we, as this vineyard, will grow. We don't want the briars, we don't want the thorns growing in here, do we? No. And that's also within yourselves, within your lives. We have to cultivate it. We have to respect what we've been given. We have to be able to mold it. Get the thorns out, get the rocks out there. There are going to be speed bumps that we're going to hit. And those speed bumps are to make us to slow down. Hit the Jake brakes, slam on the brakes, do whatever you got to do, slow down. Think about what we have, think about what we was given. But then we have to think about what we might be throwing away. I was one of them. I'm ashamed to say that there was a while there that I couldn't come here. Because I wasn't cultivating my vineyard. I wasn't helping to cultivate this vineyard. I became one of the bad grapes. And then because of faith, I started growing again. I started coming back, started clinging onto the strings that the vines grow on, that the grapes do the hang, to keep them from bruising. In verse 15 and 16 of Luke, so they threw him out of the vineyard and killed him. They denied Jesus Christ. And they crucified him. He will come and kill those tenants and give the vineyard to others. to for those that do not accept his Son as Lord Jesus Christ, as their Lord and Savior, who push him away. Judgment day is going to fall. The question is, what will the owner do? He will kill them and give them the vineyards to others. Israel's rejection of her Messiah because of unbelief will result in judgment, and Israel's blessing will be passed on to others. But God's not done with Israel. He's not. He's not done with us. This doesn't mean that the vineyard's going to go away. This does not mean that it's going to be destroyed and gone forever. Okay, Paul says in Romans 11:5 and 26, there is still a remnant, and God's gift and his call are irrevocable. Just like when the flood, we see a rainbow. That rainbow is God's promise not to ever destroy the earth with a flood. He's not saying that portions of the earth is not going to flood. He's not going to say that Lot is not going to have to be in the flood. He's not saying that at all. But he promised. So he's kept that one. Another promise that God made is that it is irrevocable. He will not take this back. It's not to say, you know what? Come on, I'm taking my toys and going home. Okay? He's not going to do that. We'll do that, but he will not. We have a chance. People, we have a chance. In verse 17, Jesus asked the question, what is the meaning of that capstone the ark is going to fall? And other versions of the Bible, King James says a cornerstone. A cornerstone is a perfectly square stone. Perfect. Eyeball went down this other side, eyeball down this other side. With that cornerstone, you can build it straight. And it will not fall. But without that cornerstone, what's going to happen? You yank that out. It's like a lady walking on high heels, she cracks that heel and gets what? She's going down. So because we rejected that stone, it has become the cornerstone. It has become the capstone of what? Our church. It has become the cornerstone, the capstone of what? God's kingdom. Without him, we cannot make it there. Jesus Christ has become the capstone to hold that arch open for us to get it, no matter how small it's going to be. Remember, the entryway to God's kingdom is a narrow one. It's going to be a narrow one. I'd love to be able to be up there and watch Samson just push them puppies apart. Make it wider for everybody. But it's not going to happen. It's going to be a small one. And be thankful through our faith that because Jesus Christ became that capstone, He's holding it open for us. But it's up to us on what we're going to do with it. We can reject God's promise to us. We can reject that. God's not going to take it from us. He allowed us to make up our own minds. That's why when one Sunday you wake up, I don't want to go to church, you don't get that back in the head. Because He's allowed us to make up our own decisions, to make up our own minds. And sad to say, people, there's going to be a small amount of us that's going to make it through there. Come Judgment Day, and a good one. And I'm praying that we get to Michael Casper. He's going to go. Look down. And I pray it wasn't too late for me. In Acts 4:11, He is the stone of those rejected. It says, He is, which has become the capstone. Salvation is found in no one else, for there is no other name under the heaven given to man by which we must be saved. Can't be found in anybody else. There's no other name we can call on. The capstone unites the two sides of the ark. Remember that. Two sides of that ark. We got us right now here and against the capstone. Verse 18. Everyone who falls on the stone will be broken to pieces, but he whom it falls will be crushed. This is the quote that Jesus took out of Psalms 118, verse 22. Jesus shows the unbelieving leaders that even their rejection of the Messiah had been prophesied in Scripture. Remember, everything that's happened to Jesus was what? Prophesied, was already known. Was already known to a select handful that wanted to believe in this. Okay? Because remember, when Jesus came, everybody's looking for the king to take over the world. Only a few people through faith knew that it was the kingdom of God that he was trying to fix. Ignoring the capstone and the cornerstone was dangerous. It's dangerous now. A person could be tripped or crushed, judged and punished. In Isaiah 8, verse 14 and 15. And he will be a sanctuary. But for both houses of Israel, he will be a stone that causes men to stumble, and a rock to make them fall. And for the people of Jerusalem, he will be a trap and a snare. Many of them will be stumbled. They will fall and be broken. They will be snared and captured. He called people to commit themselves first to God, and then to the king. He even predicted the overflow of the rest of the temple. This was Isaiah. This is the steps of what Israel is going about themselves. This is the steps that we're going without Christ. And also in Isaiah 9:10. Helps more with explaining and putting trust into only yourselves. Okay. And as my hand sees the kingdom of the idols, kingdom with the images that excel those of Jerusalem and Samaria. Pride made Israel think it would be clever to rebuild in its own strength. Rebuild in its own strength. Even though God had made Israel a nation and gave them the land they occupied, the people put their trust what? In themselves, rather than in Him. Too often we take pride in our own accomplishments, forgetting that it is God who has given us our every resources that we have and our ability. We may even become proud of our unique status as Christians. Imagine that happening. Our pride has taken us over so much that we're even proud of our unique standing as Christians. And then walking up with the nose up. That's when we start complaining about somehow somebody looks at this church as more than what they wear. Or because they don't drive the best vehicle. God is not pleased with any pride or trust in ourselves because it cuts off our contact with Him. We have to understand and remember that what we have now, if it wasn't for God, it's not going to mean nothing. You can have $100,000 house, a $50,000 car, everything paid off, but if you don't give credit and thanks to God, it don't mean nothing. It's like coming to church. If our pride overwhelms us so much that because we think we're the Christian, well, you're just taking up space in the chair. You're a boy. Now yet in Ezekiel 11:16, therefore say, this is what the sovereign Lord says. Although I sent them far away among the nations to scatter them among the countries, yet for a little while I have been a sanctuary for them in the countries that they have gone. Israel dispersed. They went off in different areas. But God was still, and is still today, a sanctuary for us no matter where we're at. Maybe one of the days where we have to, maybe I can't make it to church because I've got to get the field out. Maybe I can't make it to church because I have to get the hay cut. What does it say here? They have been a sanctuary for them in the country where they were scattered. So we, and this is my true belief, we as people, this building is not this don't mean nothing. We're the church. If you're by yourself and how many times y'all driven down the car, somebody cuts off in front of you and you sing, and it came out. Right away, did you go to God, Lord, forgive me? I'm sorry. How many times you've done that at work? You got mad at your coworker or your boss. You said a few things. Did you go to God right away and ask Him to forgive you for that? He is with us. Remember, it's a word that He has given that is irrevocable. You go to Him each and every time you need Him. Each and every time you feel you don't need Him. Your day could be going wonderful. Go to God because He blessed you with that day. Because guess what? He didn't have to. You did not have to wake up that morning. He made a promise that is irrevocable. He will not take it away. Remember, we are the only ones that can reject the promise that was given by Him. All He asks is what He's given you, give in return. Take care of what He's given you. Share what He has given you. Give thanks to Him. Don't let your pride get in the way. I know a few of y'all in here, in the same boat as I am, and pride's gotten in the way a few times. And it tripped me up. And that was one of the speed bumps that I had to hit to realize, slow down. Remember what was given to you, because without Him was nothing. I'm going to take this time. I want everybody to think about this. Think about what it's going to be like if God turns around and just plows us down. Lets the briar grow, the thorns, everything.
Lord, our dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we want to thank you. Lord, thank you so much for the promise that you've given us, Lord, and the understanding that it's up to us on how we decide what we're going to do with your promise. Lord, we know deep in our hearts now that today, Lord, that we understand that it's a promise that you will not take from us. That you've given us, each and every one of us, a chance each and every day to receive us. Lord, as we look up today to you, Lord, we know that through our Lord and Savior, our salvation is through your little Son, Jesus Christ. Lord, we pray today that we can reach others, that we can also be the disciples to let them know that this promise has been given. Lord, we pray for this in your name, and we also ask you to give it and to be with us throughout the week, Lord, and thank you, Lord, for each and every one. Lord, we pray for this in your most glorious name, in Jesus Christ.
Amen.
It's hot.
Don't be such a sissy.
There you go. Kip. And y'all be careful going home. Stay. It's going to be hot this week, so keep covered, keep and drink